A couple of videos ago, we took a magical journey through the world of Mickey Mouse games. If you missed it, check out the card in the top right corner. But today, we're flipping the script to focus on Disney's angriest, yet most lovable duck, Donald. Donald Duck may not always get the same attention as Mickey, but when it comes to video games, he's had some incredible adventures, treasure hunts, superhero crime fighting, and even some magical quests. And just as Donald doesn't like being left out, we're also covering some games starring Disney's other Anatine characters, namely his uncle Scrooge McDuck and the legendary Darkwing Duck. So let's waddle into action and take a quack look at some of Donald's greatest retro gaming moments. DuckTales is one of the most iconic Disney games ever made. Scrooge McDuck takes centre stage in a globe-trotting adventure, bouncing on enemies with his pogo cane, which can take some time to get familiar with, as the controller input isn't the easiest to get to grips with for newcomers. Either way, it's fun to play as Uncle Scrooge, who proves here that being rich doesn't mean that you can't get your hands dirty. The game features 5 levels, each packed with hidden treasures, secret paths, and classic Disney villains. The brilliant level design makes this one of the best titles on the NES. With over 1.6 million copies sold, DuckTales was a massive success, and it even got a remastered version in 2013, which brought the game to a new generation, as it was made available on the Xbox 360 and the PS3. Though not strictly a Donald Duck game, this is a classic and deserved a mention in this video. Quackshot is the first official Donald game of this video, and is there a better one to start off with? In the role of a treasure hunting adventurer, think Indiana Jones if he had feathers, and armed with a plunger gun, yes, a plunger gun, Donald explores locations like Mexico, Transylvania, and an ancient Viking ship, searching for the legendary treasure of King Garuzia. The gameplay mixes platforming with light puzzle solving, as you need to collect special items to progress. Donald also throws some classic tantrums when he gets hit, adding a hilarious touch of personality. It didn't sell as well as DuckTales, but Quackshot remains one of the best Donald Duck games out there. Definitely worth a play if you haven't tried it yet. Now switching over to the Sega Master System. The Lucky Dime Caper, which was also available on the Game Gear, sends Donald on a mission to rescue Huey, Dewey and Louie after they're kidnapped by Magica Dispel. Because what's a Disney game without an evil sorceress stealing something? Donald can attack with a hammer or throw discs at enemies, and the levels are beautifully designed for an 8-bit game. Just don't expect an easy ride. If you lose your weapon, things will get a whole lot tougher. Also, be careful not to fall into any water, because apparently Donald, who's a duck, can't actually swim. Yeah, I know. Anyway, it's not as well known as some of Donald's other games, but it's a hidden gem for platformer fans. Deep Duck Trouble was released in 1993 and is another Donald adventure for the Master System and Game Gear. Acting as a spiritual successor to the Lucky Dime Caper, this time Scrooge has been cursed and transformed into a giant floating balloon, something that might have inspired J.K. Rowling when writing The Prisoner of Azkaban. Aunt Marge, anyone? No? Okay, let's stick to the duck, shall we? Donald has to travel through tropical islands, icy caverns, and volcanic ruins to find a way to lift the curse. The gameplay is smoother than its predecessor, and the visuals are some of the best on the Master System. It's a short game, but a fun one. Just don't get distracted by Scrooge awkwardly floating around like a Macy's parade balloon. We covered World of Illusion in our Mickey Mouse video, but now it's time to see things from Donald's side. Donald plays slightly differently from Mickey, with his stubborn attitude leading to some hilarious moments, like getting stuck in narrow passageways and throwing a fit. The game features gorgeous levels, magical animations and fantastic co-op gameplay if you team up with a friend or a sibling. I mentioned previously how much this game means to me personally. It's my favourite of all the Disney games. And I must admit, I never really played as Donald as a kid, so it was nice to take control of him while capturing footage for this video. Donald might not be as elegant as Mickey, but his grumpiness makes him the more entertaining choice, especially as a somewhat moody adult. If you haven't played World of Illusion as Donald, you're missing out on some of the game's funniest moments. Let's get dangerous. Darkwing Duck for the NES is another hidden gem from Capcom, built on the Mega Man engine. I have to say I was impressed by the Capcom Mickey games, and this one has also impressed me. Playing as Darkwing, you take on classic villains like Megavolt and Quackerjack using your gas gun, grappling hook and sheer determination. The gameplay is tight, the level design is clever and the soundtrack is pure 8-bit gold. It didn't sell as well as DuckTales, but for fans of Mega Man and Disney, this game is an absolute must-play. The Magical Quest series was brilliant, by Capcom by the way, and I covered the first two of the trilogy in my previous video. They're masterpieces on the SNES. However, Magical Quest 3 never got an official Western release until the Game Boy Advance version in 2003. Donald joins Mickey on this adventure, and each character gets unique costumes with special abilities. Donald even gets a knight outfit with a hammer. It's the same great platforming action that made the earlier games fantastic, just with a fresh coat of paint. I love how colourful this series of games is, by the way. And if you liked the other two Magical Quest games but never got round to playing this one, then it's definitely worth tracking down. I just want to quickly interrupt myself to give my channel membership a quick plug. I have different tiers available with some cool perks, and if you enjoy my videos and want to show me some love, then consider becoming a channel member. I'll pop a link in the video description and in the top right corner too. Now let's move on from this shameless self-promotion and get back to the games. Now for something completely different. Maui Mallard in Cold Shadow. This game features Donald, kind of. He's technically playing a new character, Maui Mallard, a detective who transforms into his ninja alter ego known as Cold Shadow. The game's animations are beautiful and the action-packed gameplay stands out from other Donald Duck games. Unfortunately, it was released quite late in the Super Nintendo life cycle, so it didn't get as much attention as it deserved. This is another game in this video that has stunning visuals, and it is a lot of fun to take control of Donald, or shall I say Maui. If you like stylish platformers with a cool aesthetic, it's definitely worth a look. Goin Quackers sees Donald move into the world of 3D platformers. It's kind of his take on Crash Bandicoot, and you know what? It's pretty good. Donald has to rescue Daisy from the evil Murloc, running through levels filled with hazards, enemies and collectibles. The gameplay is straightforward but fun, with bright, colourful graphics and some great voice acting. It's not the deepest game, but it's a solid pick for fans of 3D platformers, and it's one of the few times that Donald gets to be the hero in a big budget title. Before we wrap up, let's quickly talk about Castle of Illusion on the Sega Master System. I know this one doesn't allow you to play as Donald, but a few of you recommended this in the comments of my Mickey Mouse video, and you were absolutely right to. It's completely different from the Sega Mega Drive game which I showed, so apologies for overlooking it. I tried to cram in as many games as I can into these videos without overloading them, And it's not really my intention to do a comprehensive list, but more of a quick scan of some of the standout games. But thankfully, some viewers are quick to point out the ones I've missed, which always prompts me to go check them out. And in the case of Castle of Illusion, I'm glad I did. So thanks for encouraging me to do so. With unique levels, new mechanics, and more puzzle-heavy design, it's almost like playing an entirely new game. So thanks for the suggestion, this one was definitely worth checking out. And that's a wrap on Donald's retro gaming career. Whether he's treasure hunting, fighting crime, or just having an absolute meltdown, Donald has starred in some fantastic games. A few can probably even be considered hidden gems. But which one was your favourite? And did I miss any this time? If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, Donald might show up at your house demanding breadcrumbs. Until next time, stay safe and keep gaming.